Storage almost full. The adhan starts. It's time to pray at the masjid, and I can't unload about all my silly problems apparently. But I want to get this out before I leave because I want to be a kind of person who has time to complain about his psychology. Don't want to be someone who's just like, just don't have time, gotta run the rat race or whatever. Anyway, so my point of view is that that woman's voice was cruel in my ear or somewhere in my room when I woke up and I heard my neighbors talking and I was relaxed. And then I started thinking about that YouTube channel Trash, and someone said again, "This is cruel." And I was like, so apparently I feel like myself. I feel relaxed at the very least. And that is something that my neighbors constantly reject back home whenever I feel like myself. And sometimes it kind of feels like I have like a pretty deep voice. And I thought it's like the neighbors associate that neighbors. I guess I'll just say they associate that with that YouTube channel Trash, and so constantly like ridicule me and say clearly not you, and so I felt rejected, and um, they were still talking out there. And because I'm an egomaniac, I guess I thought that they were talking about me, and so I was starting to have like a back and forth. I called them devil worshippers, um, and uh, that was my thought process at the time. And then that cruel woman's voice appeared right there, and it seemed to come from in my room. But I opened my eyes and there was nothing there. And she said, "You're a creep, and this is your school." And then I remember that again in the shower. I just like echoed what she said, and it made me feel so belittled and sad. And then I came in here, and my mom had rearranged my room, and it made me upset because I remembered I didn't see where my toothbrush was, and I always used to know where everything was in my room in Thailand. And I would clean my room all the time on Sundays, and I felt like a responsible adult, and my mom treats me like I'm a real child, just like arranging stuff in my room all the time for me. And it's like something that the neighbors see when I'm in my home, and they just see me as this like disabled, stupid, retarded person who's incapable of anything. Then I remember just now, I remember Indeed calling me a house person and true Atlanta. And it's like these little insults always like add up. And then I sat down on my bed and I looked over to this new desk and I was like, okay, now the first thing I see is these shoes my dad bought me that I don't want because they make me stand out. And that's a joke because I always stand out. And then the hand sanitizer that had disappeared, even though I searched for it, suddenly appearing on my table. And then I just was like, okay, so that's just my perception, like just to think through things. It's not like someone was like, I'm just gonna hide the hand sanitizer. and but those were the first things that I saw on my desk, and it made me sad. So that's cataloging like how certain things can like kind of snowball with your perception. And then at this point, people are just, and then they're just like this door slams outside, and it sounds exactly like it's the same tone as when someone throws out the trash in my old neighborhood back home. And it's like these your perception can really like influence your mood. And people tell me to like use basic math, and that's how Indeed explains things at least. And it's like it always just feels like there are people out to get me. Um, and I guess whatever. It's really just something you have to end up shrugging off. And this isn't gonna make things better. And then I come back to living a full life with heart failure and just kind of saying whatever about everything. whatever lies next, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. And it's just kind of sad, but um, yeah. So that's how I feel right now, and I miss prayer at the masjid, and praying at the masjid here is pretty peaceful and nice. I like it, and I felt more interested in complaining in a video diary than um, praying in the masjid, even though that would probably have brought me more peace. And then sometimes I do feel like someone like analyzes these decisions and is like, so he puts more trust in like YouTube responding to him than his community like guiding him through difficult moments or something, and or his religion guiding him through difficult moments. And that makes me feel sad. And I guess this was a stupid choice, but I felt like complaining. No one ever listens to me. Um, seriously, like no one ever wants to hear my point of view. My mom can't hear at all. It's hard to talk to her. Um, she's pretty deaf. Um, my dad is not going to get into my family here, but yeah, I mean, anyway, so, um, uh, yeah, I guess I'm glad I complained, um, in a way.